It's a vision with a difference, a bold plan for a new development blueprint for Adelaide, and one with a commitment to actually getting things done.
What we're asking people is, what decisions do we need to make now for that next decade and beyond?
Tim Horton is Adelaide's Integrated Design Commissioner, the man helping to guide the way in which Adelaide and its 7 surrounding suburban councils develop over the next 3 decades.
The 30-year plan envisages 15,000 people in the CBD by over the next 30 years. So what we're asking people is, what decisions do we need to make now for that next decade and beyond? And so if you imagine, there are a number of different options. We could have 15,000 people living adjacent to transit corridors. That means where the bus might drop you off, where your GP might be located, the deli on the corner. But we need to understand, where might those transit corridors be? Another option might be, should we have people located near green space, for example, the parks and squares around Adelaide? That makes a lot of sense, because it means that you can walk the dog, you can get the kids out a lot easier on a good day, those sorts of things. We know that there's a really good, healthy attitude there in relation to exercise and well-being when you live close to green space. So that could be an option. Another option is that we begin to centre people around the middle of the city, around Victoria Square. Any of these decisions are probably right decisions, but we just need to agree on what basis we're making these decisions.
The Integrated Design Commission is about much more than just planning, design and development. It's about giving the community a say in how Adelaide unfolds. And it's more than bricks and mortar. It's actually looking at how these projects will be funded, what realistic timing should be involved, and actually turning the vision into a reality in what is an Australian first.
Now, I have to ask the question. We are very much a cynical lot. We've heard about plans for Victoria Square, we've heard about plans for Adelaide. What's going to be different, and is this actually going to happen? Is it just going to be some bureaucrats sitting around, with their papers? Are we going to see a physical change?
Listen, I really do think so, and I think for a couple of reasons. One is, this is a national pilot, so if you like, the national lens is on Adelaide for this one. Secondly, in terms of timeframes, this was a project conceived in 2009. If you like, it was funded in 2010. We've launched in 2011. In 2012, May 2012, it's our undertaking to have an implementation framework in place. That means we'll have an idea on the order and the sequence and the funding for how all of these projects go together.
Let's talk about a couple of specific areas and some of the areas that I think South Australians have had great hope for. One of the areas that I think excites and confounds people is what we now call the Riverbank precinct. Are we going to see something that looks like South Bank? I mean, what's going to happen there?
We've got, unique to South Australia, unlike Brisbane, unlike Melbourne, is we've got Riverbank, not South Bank. And I think that's key. We've got both sides of the river. Importantly, we've got a master plan that will be prepared, land in around August, September, and that will look at the interrelationship of the Adelaide Oval, the Convention Centre, the Festival Centre, the casino and the Intercontinental, but importantly the public space between. So we need to ensure that, if you like, the public space is mediated, that public space is allowed for and planned within the context of a master plan.
It brings me to a very important question. People might think, look, is this going to be over-thought and over-engineered? Are we going to end up with a city that all looks the same because it's all integrated? It's not about that, is it?
No, it's understanding and celebrating the regional character and identity. So what is the difference between a Burnside and a Charles Sturt, and how do you celebrate that in the language of tomorrow, in the buildings of tomorrow? And beyond that, it's also, I guess, about a consistent narrative for South Australia. I actually think that there is something about where we've come from that needs to be built into where we're going. And I think design is the way of doing that, so that we don't end up just importing models from interstate or from overseas.
The Commission is now looking for your input and community feedback, and you'll find the details on their website.
So 2011 now, if I was to walk back into Adelaide in 10 years' time, would it look different?
Oh, listen, I think it would look different. I think it would feel differently. I think from Port Road to Hackney Road, from Bowden Village right through, I think within 5 years you'll see transformation north of North Terrace. I also think you'd find something transformed from Victoria Square to North Adelaide. Most importantly, I think it's also a transformation of attitude as well. I think we'll feel more confident.
Gee, we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.